Many of those that have registered are now here. My name is Stefan Moritz. I'm the Managing Director of the Confederation of SME associations in Europe called European Entrepreneurs. SMEs are small, medium-sized enterprises for all those who are enterprises, most probably you know that. We represent, of course, the interests of our 2.1 million enterprises members in Europe at the European institutions mainly, but also we are very much interested in developing opportunities and new frontiers, let's say, for our member associations all over Europe, and that includes also foreign trade. And foreign trade and investment, in a sense, also for our confederation's members, is very important in the field of economic relationship, economic cooperation with African countries and companies in Africa. As you have seen, you have registered to this webinar through the platform called African European Entrepreneurs. It is a platform that we have established and created last year during COVID-19 as a reaction also to the pandemic, which made it for many people impossible to travel or to continue the business as usual. And we wanted to offer to more people the possibility to get in contact with each other, to negotiate terms for a good business together, and also maybe prepare then investments and sales. The platform has been established with the financial support of the German development agency GIZ, and in cooperation with many of our members, for example, from Italy, Confapi, from Germany, BMW, from Spain, ADEGI, and from Poland, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Katowice. But it led also, luckily, to getting in contact with the Belgian association called Ondernemers Voor Ondernemers. That means Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs. Maybe some of you know them. And I'm very happy that they decided to join our confederation as members and to present us their work. This work focuses mainly on supporting young entrepreneurs, new enterprises in Africa in this period in Uganda. And so we will have the chance today to learn about 6 very interesting and successful new companies that started a sustainable business in the last year in Uganda, and what that has also meant during the COVID-19 crisis, and how this work, I think, is a good model and an example for other entrepreneurs also in other countries. And as well, also interesting maybe to know how the things go for the European members here, participants, to learn that Africa is absolutely a continent of chances and not only of problems. So I would like to give immediately the word to my colleague Björn Macauter, who is the General Manager of OVO, Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs, in order to present their speakers. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Stefan. I hope you can see my screen. Perfect. Thank you for the nice introduction. And indeed, it is also one of our missions to make sure that people in Europe, and especially businesses in Europe, start looking in a different way to Africa, because as you say, Africa is really the continent full of opportunities, and also for the European companies. So let me briefly, I don't want to spend too much time explaining what OVO or Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs is doing. We want to keep as much time as possible for the entrepreneurs, the Ugandan entrepreneurs themselves. I think they give a good example of what we do and who we would like to support. So my name is Björn Macauter. I'm indeed the general manager. And I think we share something with most people on this platform, is that we believe that entrepreneurs, they are really the best fit to actually to address the societal challenges of today. We think of climate change, we think of poverty, and we see a lot of we see a lot of governments not being able to deliver, not being up to the task. But we very much believe that it are the entrepreneurs that will change the world and will make it a better place for everybody, while of course also creating wealth for themselves. That is of course also being part of being an entrepreneur. So I want to very briefly give you an insight in how the organization OVO is, how we function. Very important two aspects is that most of the funding that we get, we don't get funding from the government, and that is a choice we have made because we are very fond of our independence. And the more that you don't rely on grants, the more you can do go your own way and do what you think is best to do. But how can we be independent? That is, of course, we need support, and we got support from more than 130 Belgian companies. Belgian companies, being as a member, we have, of course, companies that pay a membership fee. We also have companies that they invest in companies. We have companies that actually make a donation to projects, and we also have in-kind sponsors, and so they make it possible for us to operate in a very independent way. We are a very lean organization. What does it mean? Well, we have a very small staff. It's only 2.8 full-time equivalent. So I'm one FTE. So I have 3 other colleagues, but that's it for the staff. But of course, we cannot do what we do on our own. But we are lucky, and it's also the main asset of the organization to work with a lot of volunteers. And it's not just volunteers. We have very highly qualified volunteers, people being an active entrepreneur, being managers, but also retired people, retired managers, retired entrepreneurs. And what they do is actually they use their expertise, their experience to help us as an organization, but also very important to help the African entrepreneurs that we support. We have, as an organization, we have 2 pillars, 2 products, let's say. We started 20 years ago. We started collecting donations for NGO projects, for Belgian NGO projects. Why? Because especially 20 years ago, there was a very big gap between the entrepreneurial world and the world of development cooperation. And then there was one of the governors of the national bank. He said, okay, we need to do something. We have to make sure that we bridge this gap. And that's how Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs was founded, to actually bring these 2 worlds together. What do we do with the NGO projects? Well, what we do is we actually select the right projects, the projects that have a positive impact on the local entrepreneurship. And what we also do, and that is maybe the most important also, is translate all these projects in the language that an entrepreneur, a Belgian, a European entrepreneur wants to hear, that the language that he or she knows of. And then of course, we also do the follow-up on the projects. That is something that we already do 20 years, and we gather more or less, we fundraise every year about 1 million euros for different NGO projects. That's one aspect, and there is an audience for that. But of course, there's also an audience that doesn't believe in donations, in free money, and that's why we also started what we call B2B, the B2B funding. And we started doing that 5-6 years ago, and that's also why it's still smaller when you look at the turnover, but we are very ambitious. So today we have an annual investment portfolio of around 200,000 euros, and we have the ambition by 2024 to grow to an annual portfolio of 1 million euros. So it's a big step forward, and it's doable. We very much believe that we will be capable of getting there. What is the big difference between the 2 pillars, of course, is the NGO project, it's with donations. The B2B, it's only with affordable loans. So that's a very, very crucial difference. And of course, the investments, it's directly in African entrepreneurs. What we're going to talk about today, and all the examples you will see, is of course about they're coming from the B2B pilot. So these companies that will present themselves, they all have been in the running for a loan. Most of them received a loan. Two of them, well, actually, they, after being allowed to receive a loan, they said, okay, maybe the time is not right. We're going to wait a little bit more and then invest when we really need the investment. Maybe to the target audience that we work with, the African entrepreneurs, well, it's very easily said, it's the missing middle. They are too big for microfinance and they are too small for impact investing institutions. We make investments between 5,000 euros and up to 50,000 euros. We are considering to moving up the upper barrier, but today it's 50,000. Of course, we don't invest in just any entrepreneur. For us, of course, the triple P is very important. We, as an entrepreneur, they have to be profitable, or they have to be profitable in an acceptable period of time. They have to care about the people. The social impact is very important. They don't have to. They do not enrich only themselves. They also are embedded in a broader society, and they also take care of that society. Of course, planet is becoming more and more important, and that's why we don't have a focus on a certain sector. For us, the main issue where we focus on is the use of sustainable technology. Well, that's, I think, in a nutshell, a short introduction of Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs as an organization. And I now want to give the word to my colleague Thierry de Flandre. He is the leader of Team Investment, and he will tell you a little bit more about the process that we have designed to support these African entrepreneurs. Thierry, I give the parole to you.
Thank you, Björn. So SusTech4Africa is a program that we run for the third time now in Uganda. We will do second time in Rwanda and second time in Senegal this year, where we do a call for projects with true partners. But it's different than most of the incubators or other calls for projects, is that quite often after the competition, after the pitch, it's over and out, and there is not a longer term collaboration. So here you see on the slide, we start with a 3-day work, we have a 6 months work, then we have 1 to 5 years work, and then we continue keeping in touch with these with these entrepreneurs and these SMEs in Africa. And that's where we just came out of a meeting of the OVO Club of Uganda, which today is 20 entrepreneurs rich, and tomorrow we will onboarding 15 more. And when we have a business club of 35 entrepreneurs, you can create a lot of co-creation and create a lot of dynamics. So in the next slide, the call of projects we do through godfatherships of our partners. So we don't do pure social media call anymore of the projects. We ask some of our partners who know what kind of projects we are looking at to recommend us a few entrepreneurs which they have in their own background. And it's clear that in the future, because of the success stories that we had in the past, they will be even suggesting more and better projects. And this is a strong way of doing the call. Once we've done the call and we do a selection on the next slide, you see that we go through coaching. And coaching is, if COVID allows us to go back and travel, we would run a 3-day MBA course on location, where we bring in Belgians who are raising the questions, and where the local entrepreneur is thinking about the answers. As long as COVID exists, we do have our teams of volunteers lined up before. We do a kickoff day, and then we do all of it on a webinar basis. But the whole idea is to sharpen up the business plan, because as Björn has said already, We are not in grants, and we are not giving money. And when the money is up, you go back to the old habits. We are into providing a loan. So this means your business model should be sharpened up, and you should be able to think for yourself when and how much you can loan, take as a loan, and how much of the money you can give back, in which timing you can give it back. And that is a result of your business model. It should not be a request from the beginning. So we work very hard on making sure that your business model is right. And we do this with, as Björn mentioned, we have today more than 100 Belgian experienced, many of them gray hair, volunteers, which enjoy very much raising questions and not being the teacher, but rather trying to help. And that's why we call them coaches, to sharpen up these business models. And this is how, after 6 months, 3 to 6 months, we do finalize this discussion by writing up a recommendation by the lead screener, by the lead coach, and then submitting it to our investment committee. We need a little bit of corporate governance, and once it's agreed, then we don't have a bank, we don't have the money available. We still need to go for matchmaking in Belgium with Belgian entrepreneurs, which then want to match the loan with the local entrepreneur. And we have a good track record. If we go on the next slide, we can see that in 2019, we had about 7 projects which have been going through the process and have been approved. A few of them will present here today. And the year after, we had even better success by moving close to the 200,000 euro yardstick. And since then, in Senegal, we have approved 6 projects now in Senegal, which is more than 150,000 euro too. So very proud to be able to coach all of these in Uganda. I'll keep it short, and I'm available for more questions on the platform later if you wish.
Thank you.
Well, maybe the one little item which was also part of the request in the team, that is what about COVID in Uganda, and how did OVO handle the COVID? Well, first, Björn and myself, we had the courage to go to Kampala last week of November last year. We took a PCR test to go there. We took a PCR test to come back, and we felt like we were COVID compliant. And we enjoyed that week fantastic, because the face-to-face meeting and the interaction that we had with each of these entrepreneurs face-to-face, some of them visiting them in their own premises, is totally a big difference compared to everything what we try to do as well as possible by webinars. And face-to-face, we understood the pressure of COVID, and we understood the pressure of communication and the difficulty of communication of the problems. And I think that's where even this seminar is very useful. So opening up, breaking up these walls of communication was very, very useful. And when we offered them to have increase of the grace periods, and just saying, hey guys, money costs money, so you need to pay the interest. But we agreed to postpone the capital installments by 1 more year. This was a great relief for them. And the great news is that everybody kept its own ambitions. Nobody dropped the towel. Nobody gave up the business, and everybody still believes in their own business. So this is where I think that we showed understanding, that we still show that we are not giving grants. It's still, the loan stays open, but the extra grace period has been very, very helpful. And I think this is a model which probably now some others have been copying, but we speak about late November last year. And since then, several governments have also understood this was the good way forward. So that was, next slide, Björn, I think is a quick maybe pre-announcement that our trip in November was so successful, onboarding 15 new cohort entrepreneurs, that we will go back to Kampala, Björn and myself, last week of March, and we will launch a huge Kampala Impact Day on March 31st, where we'll organize networking with more than 50 entrepreneurs, probably available in the room, because we have a partnership with Einstein Rising, which share the same values as us. And they also have a portfolio of about 30, 40 entrepreneurs. And we would, together with Enable, present all of them to each other. And we will be inviting impact funds, business angels, African business angels, family offices to come and see what these entrepreneurs are up to, and to understand which are the business plans which may require and may deserve some more financial support. So the last two slides are just nice pictures of how much we just love doing this as a volunteer and this job. And even the next one is even a nicer. This is OVO, and bringing south to north is what I believe in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Thierry and Björn of Ondernemers for Ondernemers, Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs. I would have loved that also the European banks would have given to our members a grace period of 1 year during COVID-19.
Yes.
But at least you did it for your entrepreneurs, and that's good. Let's say it's a good practice. Hopefully also our banks learn something from that. I'm really excited now to learn more about the entrepreneurs that you have supported and which are here. But before that, I'm very honored that we have here as our guest also Mr. Rudi Feestraten, which is the Belgian ambassador to Uganda, and which wanted to say hello to us and add 2 words. Thank you, Mr. Feestraten.
Thank you. I hope you can all hear me from Kampala. Okay, fine. Dear participants, good afternoon to you all. For me, it is an honor and a pleasure to be part of this event. Thank you, organizers, for inviting me to say a few words. I want to thank Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs, the Belgian non-governmental organization with a strong track record in Uganda, for setting up this event. My presence is not a given. You know, this is a meeting of entrepreneurs, of private operators, not of public servants and officials. So I'll be very short and make room for you to interact. You know, when a diplomat says short, it means not longer than 1 hour and 15 minutes, promised. But I will not wish you good luck with the meeting without saying this. It is my strong belief that growth in Africa depends on the development of the private sector. Private business generates jobs, taxes, and wealth. 2 years ago in Mombasa, during a state visit to Kenya, President Museveni said, nations can only get rich if they create conditions conducive enough for the private sector to thrive. I strongly believe in the power of private entrepreneurship, especially in the economic environment in Africa. There is a lot of room for improvement. Improvement of the legal framework, a better performing public sector, good social services, improvement of access to the markets, not only the domestic markets, but also in the neighboring countries, better access to finance and affordable costs of money, good infrastructure for imports and exports. In so many fields, every step towards a better performing environment leads to immediate improvement of the performance of the private sector. And African entrepreneurs should learn from the best. Europe and Belgium can count some of the most creative, the most performing companies of the world. Our open economy, with domestic and international competition, push our companies harder than anywhere else. That is why I'm so enthusiastic and proud of today's event, bringing Belgian experience to Uganda. It is always better to learn from the best. And they should work, the Belgians should work with the best. OVO came to Uganda in the first place. Uganda is a country with a very high number of small and medium enterprises, just like Belgium. for OVO to come to Uganda is a perfect match. So I promise not to speak long. Let me just conclude by wishing you a very fruitful meeting this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Veestraten, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Belgium to Uganda. I also hope that our European guests here today will find maybe new partners in Africa, as well as our African partners, maybe entrepreneurs presenting good solutions which could also be marketed in Europe. That would be also very additional value that we hope for. So I would like to give now the word to my colleague, Jovana Savić, who has also worked very hard to organize this event. Thank you very much, Jovana. And please, the floor is yours for the first session. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Welcome, everybody, from me as well. For those who don't know me, I'm Jovana Savić. I'm project manager at European Entrepreneurs CEA-PME based in Brussels. And I'm together with the Confederation since March 2019. And before that, I worked on the ground in a village in Ghana. And today, preparing for this event, Ugandan event, actually just made me realize how challenges and opportunities are everywhere, and they're very comparable, despite of the different geographical location in sub-Saharan Africa. So it's really my pleasure to be here today with the 6 brilliant, I would say, entrepreneurs who will share their stories about how they managed to break even and become sustainable, and tell us more about the challenges they're facing now during the global COVID crisis. So first on my list is Phyllis Nasuna, who is a co-founder of Tukole platform. So if it happens that anybody of you in Uganda, in Kampala, needs any kind of service regarding plumbing, electricity, or carpentry, the platform, the online platform connects so-called blue-collar workers, or I would say green-collar workers, depending on which country you are, with either companies or individuals, and they're able to do a very quick assessment online and send you an expert on the address. Before Phyllis tells us more about the business, I would like to invite my colleague Björn Macauter to share the video, and after that I will share the presentation so that can Phyllis present. Thank you. Great. Phyllis, I will now share a presentation on your behalf.
Okay.
Do you see my screen? Yes.
Hello, please confirm if you can. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, although it's not the best, but yes, we are able.
Maybe if you switch off your microphone, your video.
Okay, so it's reliable. Pardon?
Phyllis, yeah, maybe it's better you switch off your video.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now it's better.
You hear me? Can someone text if they can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, yes.
All right, so I'll go ahead. Yeah, so Tukole is a marketplace that provides reliable services from vetted professionals in the blue-collar sector. For many people that live in Uganda, I'm sure you've experienced issues of, calling a mechanic and they don't show up, or they show up late, or sometimes they even come do the work but do it halfway so that you can pay extra to get them do the complete job. So according to UBOS, there's over 10 million people in the informal sector. And we have so many institutions offering vocational skills. However, there's still poor quality services from the professionals in the informal sector, with very inconsistent pricing of their services, and of course high costs of searching them. If you're in an area, you might have to call someone who is like 30 kilometers away from you, but also on the side of the service providers themselves, they have limited work opportunities because the sector is mainly on referral basis. So for someone who is completely new in the field, it might take them a while to actually get job opportunities or referrals from their customers. But also there's the lack of decent work, paid very little money, or even the working conditions, especially regarding their health, and also insurance for any injuries that might occur. Next slide, please. So Tukole is providing a solution to, first of all, homes. So through the Tukole home, being able to save an individual the time of searching for the best service provider for their job. And then for the service providers, being able to access customers easily without, putting so much money in marketing themselves, but also leveraging the Tukole platform to create the credit Hi.
Hi.
So, sorry, as I was still saying, we are opting companies or businesses to offer B2B services to help them minimize recruitment resources and manage their talent. So our key initiatives are mainly on onboarding and vetting the service providers that we have in our Tukole community, but also through our 3 business functions, that's Tukole Home, mainly offering services to individuals and households who need minor repairs, maintenance work, and simple jobs like an hairdo. And also Tukole Business, which is venturing into cleaning services, fumigation, and the like, and task force, which we are yet to explore. So this is the pathway that each Tukole service provider goes through, where we source them through institutions, or they apply through our platform, and they go through a vetting process and background checks, as well as training, to either go and get work through the Tukole Home or Tukole Business or Tukole Task Force. So for the past years, we've been mainly focusing on 4 trades, that's plumbing, electrical, and carpentry. However, this year we are planning to spread out into 3 more services, that's cleaning services, welding, and beauty and hair. So the Tukole business model is mainly between, through the membership from the service providers that we onboard. And then for the Tukole Home, which is offering services to households, is mainly the commissions we get from the jobs that are done, which is a 20% commission. And then for Tukole Business, we are mainly getting profit from maintaining facility services like repairs, plumbing repairs for a facility, or getting their cleaning, doing cleaning for the facility. And Tukole Task Force, which we are yet to explore the opportunity. So in the past 1 year, as we got on board with OVO, actually it helped us to put a lot of processes in place. We've been able to onboard 75 active service providers, and these have completed over 98 jobs, mainly through home. But starting early this year, we've also been getting a lot of job requests coming from businesses. We also have partners who are institutions which guarantee our pipeline of trained service providers, and also associations like Uganda Plumbers Associations and the like, which are on board, and they send us qualified service providers. We've been able to train over 710 service providers, mainly in soft skills and also in how to handle the jobs that come through the Tukole platform. And at the moment, our customer satisfaction is at a 6% NPS rate, which we are also working towards improving. Otherwise, we used most of last year, to learn. And also set our processes on how we.
Phyllis, we hear you, but I'm afraid you have only 2 minutes more to wrap it up and finish.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
far as I understood, she said she's done. I think we can go.
Oh, Phyllis, are you done? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you missed the rest of the presentation. Did you hear about the traction?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
cool.
We did.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great. So that was quite on time. Thank you one more time, Phyllis. If you can tell us maybe a little bit more about how COVID has impacted your work last year, just to put it a little bit in a context, did you get less requests from on the platform?
Yeah, so first of all, we had planned to launch the platform last year around March. However, because of COVID, we had to put it on hold. But also, the job requests were very limited between those times until I think the time when Uganda unlocked the lockdown. So we didn't have much activity going on between March to around June, and we lost a lot of traction within those months.
Okay. Gradually, I'm sure that things going to gradually be on track. The next one is, yes, please.
Yes, just a short addition is, I think Phyllis was one of the brave entrepreneurs refusing a loan last year because she was so smart to decide that she didn't want to go for debt and spend the money when the money is not being spent on the right time. So this was her COVID approach, and Björn and myself were very impressed about that initiative that she took on herself, and we want to be grateful for her for that.
Financially conscious, yeah? Sustainable, simply, yes. Okay, the next one is Sarah. Yes, now we are going to see the video of Akaboxy, a digital financial inclusion startup. So yes, Björn, we can.
Rambagamba Akabox. Esa Akabox yahika.
Amazina ganje ninyo Juliet cyo muhendo omukabox umwe ngabirgo nko kugira ngo ubushomishe mu abana nayo mbekenju ndyaho mbweti nyine nanshunga konka nagira mwo byari basa ko yongera omisho okwetungura.
Amazina ganje ya Simu Edison mtuzewe cyange cya rwa muganga katandika akaboxi natambura n'akaboxi nasenye akanketano nyaketano nganyirwemo hiremwe sente nagura imbugo nahinga nasina naho umwani nafunaye bihingwa byingi niyamwe sente nayombekejwe gimukureba aha dembwe nyakabox state kagamba nkaganirwe mu cyango munonga naguramwe mbuzi naguramwe bitama mbwenu n'amatungo byona mukanganyirwe munongo mu kabox beti n'iki kagamba cyane.
Great. Sarah, I will share the presentation on your behalf.
Okay.
Great. Please.
Yeah, it's always exciting to talk about these small later. I'm on a call. Hello?
Yes, we hear you now. We lost you
Yes.
for the moment, but
Yeah.
we hear you now. Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm using my phone to hotspot. I'm actually in western part of Uganda. So I sang, and someone had called. So I'm saying I'm really excited about working with the smallholder farmers in rural communities and in Bugonji in particular. Those of you who have visited these people, I hope you're excited too, and it gives us all courage to really push on. So I don't see anything on the screen. Can you share?
Yes, I mean, if you're attending from the mobile phone, then you will not be able to see it, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. Can I share mine?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I think that's okay. Let me see. Share. Do you see the slides?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Share.
Can you try now?
I'm trying, yeah.
Because I just enabled you to share.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't see enable to share.
You should be able. I made everybody able to share because you're all participants of the meeting.
But we can do like this in if other people can see what you share, then me I can go on because
Yes,
I have
let's
this
do
here with
that. Let's do that.
yeah, as long as I know the slide you're on. I think that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, can I move on?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so Box is a digital financial inclusion for smallholder farmers in communities. And we have some statistics. Only 11% of adult population, they go to banks to get loans to access finance. And of these people, 12 years ago, 57% to it rose from 57% to 78%, mainly because of the use of technology, use of mobile money to access some finance. However, 50% of this population still serves rudimentarily, like you saw my women in my village where I come from, walking to the groups where they meet weekly to have their savings. And these are women who contribute a lot to the economy. Going to slide 3. Yeah, so we are transitioning from the use of the box where their money is really saved and is prone to many challenges like theft. Someone can come and take away this box, and this is hard-earned money by smallholder farmers, especially the women. It's a cause of gender violence and many other hazards, even records can be destroyed and these women get nothing at the end of the day because they have nothing to claim. So we are transitioning from enabling them come from the rudimentary way to the new model that is really sustainable and growing them. Going to slide 4. Slide 4. How it works before we enroll a saving group. Meanwhile, there are over 1 million saving groups in Uganda, and before we enroll a saving group, we ensure they open an account in a nearby financial institution. Normally, this is 3 to 5. This is really 3 to 5 kilometers away from where they sit to these formal financial institutions to ensure that they are able to interact and also be able in future to access more finance and more funding for their projects. So that's why you see the arrows coming from the saving group to the digital solution. Then the digital solution, they are able to send money to the bank and save it. And then at the end of the day, they can get access to the bank account. They are able to borrow using our system. If you see the windows properly, there's one for saving, pay a loan, then pay debt, and fines. Like it is really done in their books. We really transitions to where it's supposed to technology. And we developed this system with the women themselves and the users. Going to slide 5. Why Akabox Tech? There's increased access to credit because we enable them go to the smallholder farmers, open accounts in banks, so later on they can increase access loans. It's an easy tool to use, it's an easy system, so they are able to use it. The leaders, and if the leaders are not around, we enable everyone within the group to be able to use the system. It's transparent because for every transaction they make in the system, they get a receipt. And this gives them confidence, more confidence, and be able and courage to save again year after a year. We also do trading. We buy their produce, what they produce, and be able to sell on their behalf, and these farmers get access to ready market. All this we do it to increase their savings and enable them be able to access credit and be able to pay, and at the end of the day improving livelihoods for youth and the women. Slide 6. A sustainability plan, how we get money as a company. We do subscription fees, which is a fee paid for maintaining the system, and which is affordable by every member, and it's paid on a weekly basis. To some groups, to other groups it's on a monthly basis, depending on what they want. Then we provide through the loans that OVO gives us and other partners. We go ahead and provide financial support to different enterprises, but through the saving groups themselves. Yeah, and we do provide the agri-market, ready market. And our SDGs are no poverty, reduced inequalities, and gender equality. We are strategic enough so that these people's produce, they are always next to the formal financial institution, and in Bugonji in particular, we have it next to the formal financial institution. This is to create more confidence and self-esteem to the extent that next time they are alone or they want to do transaction, it's easy for them from the shop to the bank. That's why you see box signpost. Box literally means many saving groups. Akabox means one saving group. So these are box VSLS, and it's one-stop center for their products. Next, our traction. We are very grateful to OVO Entrepreneurs for Enterprise entrepreneurs in 2018 were able to get to go through the applications and you imagine the winner and were supported. By then we're at 5 VSLAs. We rose to 20 in 2019, and this is when the first loan came in. And we are seeing ourselves at 56 VSLAs and with direct beneficiaries of 2,520 and indirect ones 12,600. This 12,600 is based on assumption that every direct member impacts on 5 households. You understand in Africa we are many in our families, but we gave it a minimum of 5. And OVO, on the other hand, supports all our 3 products, that is digitalizing, closing the gap, and trading. And we are really grateful. Among the partners, it's the only one that supports all the 3. And also the visits also that they make to these groups in Western Uganda really help us and boost us a lot in our business as a community, the community engagements. What experiences have we made in these digitalization processes? I tell you, it's exciting, and these people have high expectations from the company, that is the Akabox from us. And when visitors came in, and they come in, like my coach came in 2019, then they were followed by Thierry Bon and Joe in 2020. It's a room for learning and listening to each other, as one of us was sharing, and we share insights and be able to have challenges and to listen to challenges and have solutions. The opportunities to farmers, access to finance, credit scoring. Our system is able to credit score so that formal financial institutions can see the history and be able to fund these farmers as groups and as individual person. We have a lot of data, and it's a source for research. Then technology awareness. During COVID, this came out clearly. Our groups were able to continue saving. Though business was slow, the markets had closed, but they continued saving little that they had. The challenges, some of them, it's still awakening, it's still, they lack awareness. Then the fear of unknown, because it's a system, it's technology, it's new to them. But with support also from OVO, they were able to link us to create another arm that really helps us do training and intensive training through Zora platform that is supported by Giles Foundation, also from Belgium. And we are also having a challenge of these saving groups needing their money to zero, which we are working on through our training so that they can be sustainable. At least let them have like 60% retained or 40%, so that the next year they don't begin from zero but begin from somewhere, and later on be circles, be cooperatives. The lessons learned is that there are many saving groups in Uganda, in East Africa, and in Africa, and they need a hand, they need help. And thanks to our supporters, our partners, all of them, we have real, hosted by Save the Children, who helped us in a refugee camp, Sasakawa that came in last year in November and gave us a push, and Enable Fund that is working with us in Kasese irrigation scheme, that is Mobuku phase 2. And yes, they need a hand, and good enough, they need a direction, and we are showing them the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you.
Welcome.
I suggest we just continue because we are behind the schedule a bit. The next one would be then Imani Academies, and even Agaba the founder of will tell us more about the project just right after the video.
Did you know that children from slum areas find it very hard to find a very good school, provide them with quality education at an affordable cost? And because of this, they end up trapped in poverty. My name is Agaba Ivan. and I'm the founder of Imani Academies. Imani Academy is a low-cost school that provides quality education to children from underprivileged areas. So we go into the slums and build very nice schools that are very accessible and affordable to children in the slum. Our typical client is Omuntu wa wansi. Imani Academy from the onset was born as a mass project. So we plan to scale this project, and we hope by leveraging on economies of scale, we shall be able to afford quality or to develop quality content that will be used by so many children. I'm passionate about children from underprivileged areas, and I'd like to change their narrative, thereby changing their destinies.
Evan, can you please try to share your screen as agreed? With your
There's another video I'd like to play, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excuse me? I didn't hear you well. Can you repeat?
There's another video. I sent 2 videos. It's also a very short video.
Oh.
Thank you, Björn.
It's coming.
Björn?
It's coming.
Okay.
It's very relevant for this COVID time. So
thank you.
Thank you very much.
When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the government ordered for a total shutdown of schools first before anything else. My name is Agava Ivan, and I'm the founder of Imani Academies. Imani Academies is a low-cost school that provides quality education to children from underprivileged areas. We do this by partnering with communities or slums around Kampala and building quality schools that provide affordable education to these communities. We are lucky to partner with MIR and his fund, who provided us with funds to purchase 30 tabs, lights, paid for an internet connection, and paid for the teachers to enable us facilitate online learning for the pupils in candidate classes and P6 and P5.
Morning, class. How are you?
My name is Langwa Samsha. I'm in P6. I wake up in the morning and I brush my teeth. I do my work. During the lockdown, they gave us tablets for online classes. I enjoy learning on it every day.
After we acquired these tablets, we named each of the tablets after a book in the Bible, and we distributed them to the children. The children were so excited. Some of them had never held a gadget like this. It was so life-changing, and we're sure it had sowed some seed that one day may change their society or their community. The teachers were so excited to come back to school and do what they really loved. Hopefully, when we acquire more funds, we should be able to purchase tabs that will cover the whole school. Because we partner with the communities, we brought in our parents, and they volunteered to pay for insurance for the tabs and also guarantee that the tabs would be safe with them. And the parents are so excited that they're seeing their children learn again.
Tabu zino zigenda tuyambirako abaana baffe nnyo nnyo. Abaana bangi babadde nga bakola gwa kuzannya buzannyi nga tasobola kubanga akwata kitabo ng'akola ki ng'asoma. Neebaza nnyo 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 director, yeebale nnyo, yeebalire ddala.
We've been able to reach 30 children, which is about 10% of our student population, and hopefully we pray to God that we're able to cover the 300 that are remaining and extend also into the community for children who don't go to our school, so they can be able to access quality education through this online platform that has been created. And we are very grateful to our partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now you can share the presentation, and then 7 minutes is yours.
Thank you very much. 20 years ago, there's a little boy in a very dark classroom with dirty walls and shattered windows. He's squeezing on a little squeaky desk with two of his friends, freezing to the bone. They've just walked through drenching rain and they're waiting for their teacher to turn up, but they're not even sure if their teacher is going to turn up. This was the norm in such schools and is still the norm up to today. But that's the best their parents could afford. And that little boy was me. Because of this, I'm very passionate about children from underprivileged areas, and I would like to change their narrative. Did you know that children from slum areas in Kampala find it very difficult to find a good school, provide them with quality education, and we end up in schools like this with overcrowding, abuse, underpaid teachers, lack of resources, while their more privileged peers go to schools like this to sit. And because of this, Imani was born. So Imani is a low-cost private school that sets up schools in slum areas that offer quality education to low-income families at about $15 per month. There are about 11 million children in Uganda between the ages of 3 to 12 years old, and 2 million of these live in urban centers. And 1 million, which is 50%, lives in slum areas. In the Nansana area where we've put our first two locations, there are 54,000 children. And in our immediate communities that we're serving, there are 3,200. Our greatest value proposition to our parents is that the schools are located within the communities, so the children don't have to walk long distances that are unsafe, and they don't have to burn diesel that pollutes the environment to reach school. And it also cuts costs, because for schools, they need to pay for the bus that takes them to school. We also offer very flexible payment terms to the parents that fits directly very well with their unstable income. Most of our parents come from the bottom of the pyramid, so their income streams are not very certain at best, because they either work in a market, they're builders, they're tailors, they're border riders or motorcycle riders, and their incomes are not very stable. We are also affordably priced according to their income levels, so they can easily afford the school. We also offer very good experiential learning methods that are similar to those international schools, as opposed to the other schools or the government schools that have not invented or moved on from the old traditional ways of learning, where the teacher is king. So we set up very eco-friendly buildings that are very nice, and we also train our teachers, and this helps us get the product. When COVID-19 happened, the schools were closed by the government, and for 6 months our pupils were not learning, and we partnered with a partner from the US who provided us with an internet link, tablets with internet, and we were able to bring back the teachers to enable the children to learn. The pilot project has been very successful, As I speak, children are learning, while some of their friends are not learning. We hope to expand this, and we are trying to test it as well as have it commercially viable so we can add it to our business model. So when school is open, pupils pay an average of $50 per term, and we use about $35. We spend about $35 per child, and we make an average of 30% markup. In our first year, which was 2017, we made roughly $10,000. In 2018, we made about $31,000. And in 2019, we made about $35,000. Our projection this year was for $80,000, but that has changed. But I hope and pray that as soon as the schools open, we will hit them that we are seeing right now coming, and make inquiries are really very many. This is our climate impact, or our impact in the community. So we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that the people don't have to use transportation. The bad is that we use flour to cook our food, and we burn our paper waste. This is how we compare to other schools in the same business. Our teachers are trained, and we also apply an enhanced curriculum. Two of other competitors use the same. We use technology as well. We have a child safety and friendly environment, and we also have a child safety policy that most of these don't have. We teach them soft skills. This includes presentation, confidence, self-esteem, and so many others at lunch. And we're also very accessible compared to other schools. This is our team slide. It's headed by me. I have 15 years experience in running and managing schools. And then Martha Okweyo, who is a seasoned architect who designed the classrooms, as in charge of construction. Then we have the academy manager, who is the head of the academy, and then the head of kindergarten, Nora Paliku. Our dream is to set up 50 law, and we hope to have an enrollment of 25,000 pupils by 2032. We're also working on an app because of COVID, and of course before, of an app where we'll have these children have to learn by themselves for free online. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ivan. That was a very nice presentation. I suggest now we see the Rena Beverages Solutions. Rena, I don't see you here, but my colleague Björn will share the video.
Hello.
Yes, Regina, I'm sharing now your presentation.
Okay. Yes. I hope everyone can hear me.
We hear you well, yes.
Okay. So what you just saw there is the Rena Beverages processing plant. Rena Beverages is a cottage industry because we still use our home facility to run a processing unit, and it has been in existence since 2012. Next slide. Our industry is located in Chireka, and we produce in Kampala, and we produce a variety of products. But the main goal of each production is to produce a product that is really rich in nutrients in their natural state. So we look out for plants that are really rich in nutrients, analyze their composition, and make a product out of them, say a juice, a tea, etc. And during the COVID time, we started to make sanitizer, hand sanitizer as well, that is also certified by the National Bureau of Standards as a strategy to help us make more sales while also helping people become healthier, because our sales had slightly dropped because of the closure of institutions where we used to sell in bulk. Next. So in relation to the OVO, in 2019, we started to write a project that is aimed to help us reduce the amount of plastic we are using and also increase our production. In the plastic tin, you see Rena hibiscus tea, which is made from the hibiscus calyx, which we package into that plastic tin after grinding. But the production is low because it's a very hectic procedure, and also it doesn't, it's not suitable for most of the people on the market. So in this year and in the previous year, we are working on starting to make tea bags, and the goal is to make about 10,800 kilograms of tea bags, which will produce 100 and 800 boxes per year as a goal. This will help us support the farmers who grow these flowers, the hibiscus flowers, which we utilize as our main raw material because of its nutrient composition. Next. So our markets currently, we are able to make a sales revenue of 45,000 euros annually. This is a slight drop from the previous year because of the COVID pandemic, where we lost some sales in the schools, but we're still able to sell a lot because people were a little more cautious about their vitamin C intake, and our products are really rich in vitamin C, especially the hibiscus. So they started to then look out for vitamin C rich products, and our juice sales then came back to, we started to have a gain after people's knowledge about the role of immunity in helping them to recover faster, not to cure, but to recover faster. So in the first year of production for the local tea bags, we plan to focus on the local market, first as import substitution, but also to explore the opportunities where people are already using tea, but in the local way. So we are making it in a tea bag so that everyone can have it at their convenience, even in their offices. Then by the third year, we shall be able to export in larger quantities. Even in the first and second year, we'll be exporting, but the bigger focus will be in the third year. To achieve this, to sell all our 100 and 800 boxes of tea bags each year, we plan to do online deliveries and deliver to supermarkets that we are already supplying to. Again, focus on the schools and corporate companies where people tend to buy for the canteens, the workplace and in the schools, and then the health clubs, pharmacies and hospitals, because our products are mainly for the health conscious person. So most of them go to the health clubs, pharmacies and hospitals, and that is where we shall find them. Then our customer value proposition. Each of us eats every day, and we look out for food not just to satisfy us, but it sustains our health. But sadly, for most Ugandans, they do not eat enough fruit, and not just fruit, but especially the fruits and vegetables that are rich in iron and vitamin C. The hibiscus plant is rich in both of these nutrients that are usually not eaten by so many Ugandans, and not just the very poor, but even the corporates, because they easily have access to the high sugar drinks as opposed to nutritious juices and teas. So we hope that with our product being packaged into the tea bags, we shall reach out to more people and also help more communities to benefit from this hibiscus. We respect quality in our company, and we proudly were the first to get the quality standard for the hibiscus products in 2016, and we still uphold quality, and which is very good for us as a small scale industry, because most of the small scale industries in Uganda do not meet the quality standard. So we stand out for that. So our product is mainly there because of the vitamin C and the iron. Next. Our product is basically from the farm, dried and ground and packaged into a tea bag. What you see there in a box is our design for the tea bag that we are going to start making. And we see the farmers harvesting the hibiscus calyx. During the COVID time, we also happily focused a lot on strategic decisions. And as the sales were low, we spent time with university internees who wrote a handbook for the planting and harvesting and the post-harvest handling of the hibiscus calyx. And we have realized better quality flowers from our farmers and are looking out to train more farmers with this very handbook that we developed in partnership with the university, Uganda Matters University. So our product will have enough supply for our hibiscus, and the farmers will also be happier because with good planting procedures, you have a better yield and a better output in terms of the money earned. The next. Our financials in 2019-2020 financial year, our revenue was 45,000 euros. This is a combined revenue from not just the hibiscus products, but also from the sanitizer products that we started making during the COVID time from a separate unit in our processing facility, and also from hibiscus wine, which usually has a lot of sales in the festive season. So we are utilizing the hibiscus flowers as much as possible. With the receiving of the OVO loan a few months back, we started to prepare to produce the tea bags as we wait for our machine that we have paid for 50% deposit. We have also created a local machinery, which you see in the picture, for crushing the hibiscus calyx into finer flowers that will be utilized in the tea bag. So we are just remaining with receiving the machine to put in the powder crushed from this machine that has been locally made. So we are also able to support local technologies with this project. And then we shall also be able to buy raw materials from the farmers. We shall make sales of about 100,000 euros from our projection. Of course, there will be more investment in terms of marketing on our side, and that way we shall be able to pay the OVO loan and also grow as a business. And of course, growth as a business definitely means growth for our farmers. The impact on the next slide. We are going to be replacing our plastic packaging material that you saw above with filter paper for tea bags, which is more biodegradable. We are going to be training farmers, more farmers, because we're already training some in growing the drought-resistant hibiscus plants, and with better harvesting technologies, because that was the toughest job. And then we are also utilizing the seeds to minimize the waste. We utilize our seed that is harvested along with the flour to make a seed snack, which is rich in zinc. And we also utilize it to make a coffee that is also really rich in antioxidants. So we are utilizing the entire plant. Then, of course, financial stability for us, which trickles down to the farmers. Then the consumers, of course, will get preventative health, because this is our main goal, to produce products from plants that are naturally rich in nutrients and have them on people's tables so that they can consume the nutrients easily and deliciously. Healthy can be tasty. That's our goal. Then reduced cost of healthcare, long-term impact, which we already see on some of our clients or patients, or customers who consume our products, especially mothers with children, because they say that their children do not get flus for long periods because their immunity is boosted. And this is proven by research because of the vitamin C. Next, our team. We have a big team, mainly comprised of family members, because that's how we started, who employ other people like the distributors, production team, among others. The CEO is Regina Nakayenga, and she supports Ugandan farmers. And her goal is to make sure that each day, as we produce the 100,800 boxes, we are able to pay a farmer about 85 euros every day. This could be one farmer or two farmers or three farmers, but this means that every day the company will be purchasing flowers, hibiscus calyx. Then myself, I'm a nutritionist by profession and also working as a quality control in the company. And my goal is to improve health with nutrition products. We have an outgrowers manager, marketing director, and finance. Our partners, OVO, Uganda Industrial Research Institute, which is an institute that supports medium and small scale industries in developing technologies. And we are utilizing this institute as well to be able to string our tea bag, because the machine we are procuring, it does not have the stringing component. And so we are using local technicians to develop the stringing aspect of the machine. So you see, we are already creating more and more jobs, even for the technologies and also for their farmers. And then we have the farmer groups, our biggest partners, because without them giving us this hibiscus calyx, we won't produce the best quality product with the nutrients we need for our clients. Then we have QRAD, which is a local support system for those people in processing, where we utilize their solar dryers, when we have very big volumes to dry that do not fit in our capacity at the processing plant. And OVO, of course, who granted us a loan that we received at the end of the previous year, that we are already looking forward to utilizing to start our tea bag process. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you very much. Yes, hibiscus is present and very famous and drinkable all over West, Center parts of East Africa. Sobolo, Bisap, differently called, but very important. Okay, the next one will be Clinic Masters. Let us see the video.
At Clinic Master International Macauter is where you find the application that has transformed healthcare services. The many reservations on cards, loss of data, the bureaucracy and damage are long gone. The sophisticated application loads the data and displays at every command from a user as pages of a patient's record display.
For me to receive treatment, I'll just go because all my data is already available at the hospital. I'm going to take a short time because the doctor will quickly retrieve that information.
The device automates patients' transactions in the clinic on a visit basis and daily procedures stored on an electronic file. Wilson Kutegeka, a medical personnel, introduced the unique software to reduce the plight of health patients. As a sole installer, he has been hired by over 80 facilities to have the technology.
Started when we are 2 people. We are able to pay our own bills at the time. Right now we are about 15 people, and at least every month we have a salary consumption of about 30 million.
The project began in 2006 but took time to kick off due to external demands until he quit his job in 2010.
Pick one technology, concentrate on it and master it very well. Don't run into doing so many things because you'll not be an expert on any.
From just an IT student to a redeemer of the medical profession in the country.
In 2010, that's when we got the first client whom we concentrated on to make sure that he's happy. Then they referred us to another client. So since then, it has largely been more of a referral.
Wilson dreams of extending his clientele across the globe, expand his gains, and inspire his medical direction. Navasa Innocent, NBS, Live at 9.
Wilson, I will share the presentation on your behalf, and you have 7 minutes to present.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, in presentation mode. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, and good evening, everyone. Maybe before I will share the presentation, let me first share the industry challenges in Uganda and even around our region. If you look at banking industry, let me say if money gets posted onto my account, I receive an SMS on my phone notifying me that money has been deposited onto my account. Telecommunication, for example, is constantly improving. You can communicate wherever you are in every part of the region. And unfortunately, this is not happening for the healthcare industry. And yet, this is the industry where people are sick, people are really constrained. They would want to receive quick and timely services in terms of treatment. And this is how Clinic Master comes in. Wilson Kutegeka is my name, the CEO, founder at Clinic Master International. And at Clinic Master International, we have one goal, that is reduce patients' waiting time in a hospital and clinic when they go for treatment. Next slide, please. And here is the problem that we are facing. Under normal circumstances, when one goes for treatment in most of the healthcare facilities in Kampala, you'll find there's a long line. And the reason for this is simply because the way data is managed, captured, is manual. You can move from one point, let me say at reception, they give you a number. You go to laboratory, they give you another number. You go to pharmacy, they give you a number. And unfortunately, all these different points have no way of knowing that this is the same person who has been given a number at different points. So in the end, they mix up diagnosis. The treatment is not given based on your properly kept historical record or medical record, and so on and so forth. And on top of that, meaning that the different service points are not interlinked, also different hospitals do not link to each other. For example, you could be in the Western Uganda, you receive treatment, then a week later, you got the Central Uganda, you got the North of Uganda. The doctors in the other facility likely to start afresh because they have no easy way of retrieving your medical data. And that's the problem currently we are solving. Next slide. And here the solution that we've deployed, the Clinic Master solution, is a system that enables healthcare facility to centrally deliver health informatics and hospital process automation. So what happens is that Clinic Master will digitize, capture, store, and share medical records electronically. And on top of that, a patient can tap onto that ecosystem, for example, be able to know which specialist will be available at what time, and also schedule on appointments so that by the time they go for treatment, people at the hospital are waiting for the patient or expecting the patient. That way they spend shorter time, and equally the doctor is able to know how many people are waiting to be attended to. Next. Okay, currently in terms of the market, we've segmented a total of over 2,000 healthcare facilities in Uganda, and we are a target about 60% of that market by 2026. We need to have installed 1,281 hospitals and clinics. Currently, we have about slightly over 100 hospitals running on Clinic Master. Next. Okay, next, I think a few more. So the way it works is that when a patient arrives at reception, information is captured electronically. Then the doctor, for example, will receive an alert. The doctor is able to see who is waiting in queue. Then a doctor will make an online request, let me say a lab request, and people in the lab will get an alert. They're able to see who is coming and the test they are coming to do. They will work on you, feed in results. Then the doctor will receive an alert that results for patient XY are ready. As well, you, the patient who could be waiting, will receive an SMS notifying you to go back and see the doctor because your results are ready. And equally, the doctor is able to have an idea of inventory at pharmacy, so can prescribe appropriately because they know which drug is available in what quantity. And in the end, all this is also put together if the patient is a paying patient going to receive a bill, will be able to do the payment as information is put together. So because of that, we see shorter waiting times at facilities, well-managed drug inventory, as well as accurate bills. Next. Yeah, so there are also a couple of other players in the industry, especially in Uganda and also around East Africa. And but Clinic Master is better in terms of real-time processes, real-time, and yeah, it's affordable. Maybe next, there are a few remaining components. Yeah, so Clinic Master has a better competitive advantage in terms of affordability and ability to capture information real-time, meaning that information is keyed in by members of staff at those service points. It's a doctor who enters their part. It's a lab technician who will upload results. It's somebody at reception. It's not a system where data is written on paper and then it's taken to the data room for entry. Yeah, and we are affordable, competitive advantage. We're a system that is affordable, with high return on investment. Next. Yeah, provides good data accuracy insights on hospital statistics. Clinic Master is locally developed with 24/7 support. Next slide. Yes, next. So our business model in the past has been largely through viral distribution. One client who has used or seen Clinic Master work appreciates and then gets our contacts from that client who is using Clinic Master, then they get to us. Or also those who have been using our system refer us to other clients likely to get on board. But sometimes we also have targeted exhibitions and demos in different parts of the country and also sometimes over the world to be able to present to people through a network of different people that also get to us. Next. Yes, next. Yeah, so our business model is simple. We charge per user, and a user in this case is a member of staff who can log on the system and work on a patient, and we charge 496 per user, but we also have an annual support revenue of 20% of the total license paid annually. Next. And over the years, since 2010, when we've made the first installation, so today we have over 100 hospitals and clinics to date, that are currently on Clinic Master. Next. Yeah, we've not done this by ourselves. We have a couple of partners who have helped us to achieve this milestone. We are lucky, like in Europe, we have partners like Exchange that also referred us to OVO, and now OVO as well, and also the Netherlands Trust Fund, then Private Sector Foundation, Uganda, the means of ICT, Uganda Export Promotions Board, that also gives us referral letter or confirmatory letter when we go to export, and also Cross Africa in Kenya that also gave us training about 4 years ago. Thank you. Next. Yeah, and here are some of our clients. These are some of the high volume hospitals in and around Kampala, such as Rubaga Hospital, Mengo Hospital, St. Catherine, Case Hospital, Walter Reed, Makerere University, Walter Reed Project, Maldime, Gulu Independent. So some of Uganda Cancer Institute, which is government, and yeah, they all use Clinic Master. Next. Yeah, next. So industry recognition as well. We have been featured among the top.
Wilson, you have only 1 more minute to wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And second place, Sustain 2019, and also Best Innovation MTN. Next. Yeah, and also a couple of press has also highlighted Clinic Master. Next. Okay, next. So we are currently looking for partners as well, and in the next 24 months of funding, we are looking to double our client to about 200 clients, and this direction has been given to us or redirected to us by OVO as well, through several consultants that have been at Clinic Master to give us training and look at our growth pattern. And yes, so that is currently our focus. Next. Yeah, our contacts are as shown below, and I'm here presenting straight from our office, Plot 83 Macauter Street. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wilson. Thank you. Björn, I think we can definitely go on a video of Innovex.
Over 500 million people in Africa still live without access to electricity today. Solar energy is rapidly becoming the best alternative solution. Are you a solar company installing solar home systems, solar water pumps, solar maize mills, and any other solar equipment? What is the best way to make solar affordable for ordinary people, rural schools, farmers, and health centers, while ensuring customer satisfaction, loyalty, and trust for all solar clients, and keeping your solar installations from breaking down? For over 3 years now, Innovex, through remote, has strengthened operations of solar companies. This enables them to sell solar systems on credit and collect payments in installments, remotely disconnect solar systems in case of payment default, monitor performance and troubleshoot system faults from offices, homes, or anywhere at their convenience, just at a click of a button. Remote system is a combination of a smart meter and an internet-based software which remotely monitors performance of your solar installation 24/7. and is accessed via your computer or smartphone. This is the way to go. Don't be left behind. Book a pilot and grow your business in a sustainable way. Contact Innovex today at info@innovex.org or call +256 393 216 119. Innovex. Creating technologies for Africa.
Douglas, I'm sharing your presentation.
Yes, right here.
Great. Please, 7 minutes is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Björn. Yes, so I'm glad to present Innovex and how we are working to transform the distribution of grid energy. So next slide, please. So it's a very humble team that is working in support with OVO. OVO has been very instrumental in key aspects of business strategy advisory, sales advisory, as well as linking us to a number of partners in Belgium. Like I'll talk further about this. So David, our CTO, is an all-time school friend. And interestingly, Innovex is one of those fairy tale startups that started from college. So it's just one of those stories. Next slide, please. Yeah, so it's a known fact that we have more than 500 million people. This is more than 90% of the population without access to electricity. Solar has been a huge solution to fix this problem today. Though despite the investment of over $600 million over the past 10 years, it's not reaching enough Africans fast enough. So, of course, the industry is facing a number of challenges, one of which is the lack of proper operation and maintenance of these solar installations. Many installations are reported to fail within just months of installation. So this is a key barrier to fast growth of solar energy in sub-Saharan Africa. Other challenges include the poor after-sales services, which have, caused a lot of dissatisfaction by very many end consumers of solar. And for the people that need solar the most, it's surprising that they can't afford. So it's a huge upfront cost for very many low-income communities in sub-Saharan Africa. Next slide, please. So this is exactly how we come in with remote. So Innovex came up with a solution we call remote. Next slide. Remote is an IoT cloud platform that consists a smart meter that is installed in a solar system. And this connects over the internet to an online cloud platform. So using custom algorithms, the cloud platform offers information on performance of the solar system, as well as CRM tools for customer management. It also offers mobile money integration, which enables solar companies collect payments remotely. Next slide, please. So how this works, the smart meter is fixed on a solar system, or it could be fixed on a piece of solar equipment. And this connects with the cloud. And on the cloud, solar companies can access features where they can remotely monitor performance of the solar installation. It also has encouraged very many solar companies to operate pay-go business model for larger size solar systems. Remote also offers custom CRM features for solar end users who are using bigger size solar systems. So the hardware contains a number of sensors which measure these parameters. Next slide, please. So we are basically a B2B. We sell our hardware to solar companies who in turn install this on their solar installations. So what the solar companies pay for is the upfront cost of the hardware. We also charge a licensing fee for the use of the software. And we're also building subscription models because we've found very many customers who are interested in data management, especially for projects that they've been running with donors. Our platform is also available as an API. API simply means it can link to other platforms, meaning it can be customized as any customer would want to use the IoT platform. Next slide, please. So to date, we have more than 1,000 smart meters installed across 5 countries. So we are based in Uganda, but we also actively operate in Kenya. And we have a number of pilots running in Tanzania, DRC, and Ethiopia. So across these 5 countries, there is more than 3,000 solar agents that are actively distributing solar products. Next slide, please. So our typical customer is a solar company that is looking at the solar for productive use industry. So this could range from solar water pumping, running solar equipment such as solar maize mills, or installing solar home systems themselves. So to date, we have more than 400 rural schools that have been connected through remote, more than 50 health centers, which are visited by more than 300 patients on a daily basis, and 50 rural businesses that are being powered by solar systems running on remote. We also have more than 3,000 households that are connected through our CRM platform. Next slide, please. So this is an example of one of our customers, the Vodafone Foundation, that offers tablets for education to students in rural schools. So we were contracted to provide monitoring services, performance monitoring services for the solar installations that were powering the charging of these laptops. So we did installations across 3 countries for them. Next slide, please. So other projects we've worked on, so these include Global Leap, where they're studying the operation of better and efficient off-grid equipment, such as fridges, fans, and solar water pumps. We also have worked with Energy for Impact on some of the big projects, one called Project Jua, where they're analyzing the performance of lithium-ion batteries in the second life after they've been used in electric cars. Other customers include PEAS, who is an NGO that builds schools in rural areas of Uganda and powers them using solar. UNCDF has also funded a number of our customers, and specifically, remote was being used as a technology provider for a pay-as-you-go business model for large-size solar systems. We've also worked with a number of customers that are working with UNHCR in refugee camps across those markets. So this typically is an extraction of what remote looks like, or what it would look like in the account belonging to a solar company. So this simply shows how the system has performed in terms of power generated from the panels and also power consumed by the load. Next slide, please. So this is also just another extraction of what battery health monitoring looks like. So when you look at this graph and the next graph, next slide, please, you can typically see how remote is helping very many of the solar companies, especially in warranty claims. So warranty claims are collapsing very many solar businesses simply because it becomes very expensive to service one customer. And in most instances, solar companies report that it is the consumers that are killing these systems. So of course, there has been no way in the past to tell where the problem usually comes from. But today we actually had a meeting with one of our customers, and they were testifying how the data from remote has helped them avert a loss in a warranty claim from a customer. So after showing such information to a customer, it's easy for them to actually pay for a new battery instead of claiming a warranty for a system that have spoiled. Next slide, please. So this is another picture of one of our customers that deals in solar water pumps. Next slide. So this is an extraction of what a solar water pump would look like. So you're looking at flow rate against consumption of the pump. This particular client is running a business model, they call it pay and pump, where they're selling water as a utility as opposed to upfront purchase of a solar water pump. So this fixes the problem of the upfront cost of the solar systems. Next slide. Next slide.
Can you please, Douglas, wrap it up in 1 minute?
Yes, I actually think this should be it. These are just examples of our works. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, next slide. So we mostly focus on solar installations that are between 100 watts to below 10 kilowatts. So that is how we differentiate from other solution providers, and remote can also be used on any brand and size of solar installation. So most manufacturers manufacture solar monitoring systems just for their installations. Next slide. So these are the people that we've worked with, and it's a pleasure to say that OVO is one of them. Next slide. And I think that should be it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are running behind the schedule. For those who are really punctual, we apologize for that. However, I would now suggest that we go directly to the platform where you will be able to find our 6 entrepreneurs and ask them directly the questions. So we just do not waste too much time in taking in the questions in the Q&A session. So I will just share my screen with you again to simply help you understand how you can connect. I would now like to invite you to go online and sign in, log in to the African European Entrepreneurs. I think you can see my screen now. So we had this honor to, together with our different, when I say we, I say European Entrepreneurs CEA-PME, under the project European Shared Value Factory that was financed by JZ 2020. Together with our different European partners throughout Europe, but not only Europe, also in Africa, we are collaborating very closely with Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We were able to start onboarding different companies interested in investing in Africa, already collaborating in some capacity on the continent, as well as, of course, African companies. And today we count 877 companies, and we are very, very proud of that. So today we will use this to our advantage, but I would like to invite you and encourage you to keep exploring the platform, because it really offers a number of different resources. For example, if you go to resources, you will be able to find different material from our different webinars that we have done so far, and different informations on how to invest in Africa, different tools and support from Europe. that you might find, as well as you can follow our events. But now, because of COVID, we have more webinars. You would be just able to click on the webinar and register. But for today, let's focus on companies. So all of you have registered for this event via this platform. And you are basically belonging to the pool of companies. So on your left-hand side, you can see that there are various filters. What I would suggest that you simply filter out by country, because at this point, at this event, and our attendees are coming from Uganda, Germany, Belgium, I know that we had also from just a second. United Kingdom, okay, and South Africa as well. So once you filter out for this event, you will be able to see who is online. And I see here the Chancellor at the Embassy of Uganda in Belgium, Brussels. She is online. And Douglas is online. So let's see, I want to book a meeting with Douglas. I will request a meeting to ask about Innovex, to understand better. So you choose the February, today's date, and 4:15. And don't worry, because it's 4:15, the moment send request, the moment Douglas accepts my request, we will be able to meet. Meetings, you go to your meetings to see all the meeting requests that have been sent to you and that you have been sent, so that you will be able to approve or already start the meeting. So Douglas, if you can go and confirm, and then maybe we can meet. But for those who didn't understand, I would very gladly provide answers. I think this was quite a few steps easy approach, and we will be here next 20 minutes if you need any kind of support in your digital networking. So let us know.
So then maybe I might say some last words, which I maybe also would ask my colleague Thierry de Flandre OVO to add some words here in the closure of also regarding the 6 companies that we have had today, which was highly interesting. But I would like to underline that it's really great opportunity to know about such kind of solutions, which cope with a very special conditions, of course, with other other, let's say, practices in saving money, for example, or producing things, or solving problems with healthcare. And this can, of course, be also translated to other countries, not in Africa, and maybe even turned, let's say, quite successful low-tech and practical help and use in Europe. Why not also in Europe we have remote areas, we have rural areas, and we have a different kind of approaches to things. So now not all is urban, not all is high-tech, not all is industrial. I would thank you everybody for your participation. Thank very much also to my colleagues Jovana Savić and Lorenzo Marchese for their organization and for the technical support today, and particularly very much to Björn Macauter and Thierry de Flandre of OVO. Please, Thierry, the last word is yours.
Okay, well, I would like to thank EACA because this was a challenge, okay? This is really a first-time experience for us, and it's been a big experience for the 6 companies, and there were a few more lined up, but clearly 2 hours is more than enough of a webinar because these small and medium enterprises need to learn to sell themselves, to present themselves, to pitch. And I think you gave them a platform, you gave them an opportunity. And I think on behalf of all of them, I would like to thank you for the challenge. And I would like to congratulate all 6 of them because they had a hard work getting the video together, getting the pitch together. And Jovana and Björn have been assisting them very well in the past 72 hours because in Africa, you don't plan more than a week in advance. So this was great work. Thanks a lot, and ready to do it again, and be saving the date maybe for 31st of March. We will do a live event straight from Kampala, and we still need to look at all the technicalities for it. But please save the date for 31st of March in the afternoon. All the best. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the one-to-ones.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.